Hi guys, today I've got a video for you that's going to help you address tendinitis in the elbow. If you've done jiu-jitsu long enough, you know that tendinitis in the elbow can be an absolute pain and something that's really hard to deal with. So we're going to look at 3 areas you need to address to most effectively combat it, which is going to be strength, it's going to be self-massage, and it's also going to be stretching. And right at the end of this video, I'm going to show you my favorite stretch that's going to be amazing for stretching all through the forearm, through the elbow joint and through the bicep, all in one stretch. So make sure you watch right till the end. The first thing I want to talk about is strength. One of the typical causes of tendinitis is when the muscles are weak or overworked, and the stress and strain that are meant to be carried by the muscles ends up getting carried by the tendons. So the tendons get sore and the tendons get overworked, and that's what causes, in many cases, your tendinitis. The first area we want to address strength in is going to be in the biceps. When we're doing all of this pulling motion in jiu-jitsu, the biceps get tired, they get overworked, and the stress goes onto the tendons, which then translates to tendinitis in the elbow. And the best way to address strength in the bicep is going to be some form of curling exercise. You can do dumbbell curls if you want, even though I'm normally not a big fan of them. For this case, in the case of rehab, do some bicep curls with a dumbbell. You can use a resistance band. You could do pull-ups. But you don't want to overwork the muscle. Typically, the best way to develop strength for big movements is going to be staying in the 3 to 5 rep range. But considering the muscles are already a little bit overworked, which could be one of the reasons why you've got tendinitis, then I would look to perform an exercise that you can comfortably do for 8 to 10 reps. That's going to work the muscles, but not overtax them too much. You don't want to be going to failure. You know, think if you could do an exercise maybe for 12 reps, do about 8 reps. That would be a good type of exercise for you to do. So make sure you pick the right resistance. And you want to do these probably at least twice a week for 2 to 3 sets to start developing and building up a bit more strength endurance in those biceps that's going to take some of the strain off the tendons. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is an imbalance in strength. If we do all of this closing motion, or do this closing motion all the time in jiu-jitsu, we're typically going to be working the muscles on the inside of the forearm. So you want to start working the muscles on the outside of the forearm. And the best thing to do, if I can pick the right pocket and pull out these rubber bands, is to get a set of rubber bands. These are from Iron Mind. You've got no affiliation, so don't make any money from these, but I like the products. I'm just going to open against resistance. So I'm starting to work the muscles on the outside of the forearm. And that's going to make a big difference in terms of how your elbow feels. I would do that for 40 to 50 reps every time after you train jiu-jitsu on both arms. Again, it's a low resistance, so we're not hammering it here. We're just getting the forearm to work. We're starting to feel a little bit of a burn in the forearm and start to rebalance how much we're using the muscles on the outside of the forearm versus the inside of the forearm. So those are the two areas of strength that I want you to address. The next thing that's really going to help with your tendinitis is going to be self-massage. Now, where you're going to do the self-massage is going to depend on where you're sore. But one of the best ways to start to loosen up the muscles when you've got elbow tendinitis is typically it's going to be in the bicep, or it's going to be somewhere in the forearm. You're going to find a sore spot and start massaging that out, helping the muscle relax, helping the tissue to release, and taking the tension away from the muscle. That's going to take away the tension from the tendons and hopefully relieve some of that pressure and relieve some of that tendinitis. So when you're sitting there just at home at night, start poking around and find where the sore spots are. I quite often get it on the outside of the elbow, and I find it here, so the outside of the forearm, and I just massage it out. And you can just use your thumb for this. Another great tool, if you can pick one up, this is a massage ball. It's a plastic ball inside a plastic case that allows it to move around, and I find this a very good way to slowly massage out those sore spots. We don't want to be rushing through this. This is going to do nothing, right? We're not putting deodorant on here. We're trying to work out the kinks in those muscles and soften them up. So you're going to find that sore spot and just gently go back and forth just 1/4 of an inch and press until you start to feel that muscle release and relax, and keep working up and down the forearms and up and down the biceps and you'll find where your tight spots are, where your sore spots are, and that's going to really help release the tissue and take some of the pressure off the tendons. Now, the next thing we want to do is stretch out the muscles, and particularly we want to focus on the forearms and we want to focus on the biceps. Now, there's different stretches that you can do, but what I said is I was going to give you one stretch to target them both. And this is my favorite stretch for working all of the tissues through the bicep, the elbow and the forearm. And what I'm going to do is get a flat surface. I'm going to point my finger straight down to the floor, and I'm going to press the heel of my hand into that surface, and I'm going to drive my elbow up into the air, and I'm not going to allow my shoulder to rotate forward. I'm pulling my shoulder blade down and back, and I stretch away so I get full extension. And you should feel that all the way through the forearm, the bicep, and across the elbow. I'm really driving in the heel of that hand into the pull-up frame in this case, or the wall or the door, wherever you're doing it. And I'm trying to drive the elbow up into the air and hold that for about 60 seconds, maybe longer. Do that 2 or 3 times a week. I'd recommend doing it after you've done some of the strength exercises, or even better, after you've done the self-massage so the tissue is already loose, and it's really going to help to lengthen out all that tissue and relieve some of the tension that could be causing your elbow tendinitis. So guys, let me know which exercise you like the most. Make sure to head over to bjjstrength.com. We've got a free Breathing for BJJ course. We've also got 2 pre-built strength and conditioning programs specifically designed for the jiu-jitsu athlete, there for purchase. Check them out, guys. Getting some really good reviews, see what it says on the website. But while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and look out for the next video.